I've never done this before through Zoom to YouTube, so
Me neither.
it'll be interesting.
It'll be first time for everything.
Setting your meeting up for YouTube Live. We'll just say we had technical difficulties.
Sure.
Because we did.
I've never done this before.
Oh, there it is. All right, we're live.
Hello? Check it out, man.
All right, can you hear me all right?
I can. So,
all right.
Are you watching the stream?
Yeah, it's on the YouTube thing here.
How do I see it? Do I should go on my other computer?
Here, I'm going to share the link with you right now.
Oh, okay.
Hello, everybody. We're live. We're just trying to figure this out for the first time.
I could do it on my Mac.
How do you want me to send it to you?
Well, can't I just go to my page and get on it?
Oh, yeah, just do that.
That would work. Let's see. That way I don't have to draw any more power away from my slow ass.
That's smart. Let's wait for everybody to kind of link up here. And so also the stream is going to be, I don't know, like 10 seconds behind us in live time. So it's kind of a weird thing. I don't like that I'm on the left side and you're on the right side on the stream.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's going to piss me off.
Yeah.
Oh, let me unpin it.
Don't.
We'll figure this out one way or another.
Yeah, for sure. Let me go to my channel. Let's see. My channel. Where is it?
So how do I?
Switch channels. Wait a minute.
This is kind of slick that Zoom has this integrated. It's just weird to figure out.
Yeah. Trying to get to channel. It's weird. I'm signed in under the wrong thing. Manage your Google account. Let's see.
Sorry that we were late getting on this thing. We had some lighting and audio, and we're just trying to figure out this Zoom integration. It's really weird how they have it laid out.
Yep.
But it looks good. It's coming through pretty good.
Cool.
If Rusty can check it out.
Just figure out what's my password.
I don't know. Da, da, da.
Let's see. Did I change it since then? Yeah, I changed my password on YouTube. Do you know what it is?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm just linked up to it through mine, so I don't know.
Try to figure it out. Let's see.
Okay. Estras Diaz says he got my book. Well, thanks, dude. Hopefully you like it. I've seen a pretty decent increase in book sales, so I appreciate that from everybody.
A lot of my students and friends have said they got it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, usually I was selling like maybe one or so a week, but now I'm selling about 1 or 2 a day.
Okay, I figured out my password, so
Well, good job.
screw that. But let me go back to how do I get to my YouTube channel. I want to be on YouTube, man. So gay. Okay, so cool. Take me there. I don't understand, man. This is stupid.
What happened?
I don't know. It's just showing up a YouTube video, and it's not showing my channel. And I don't know. It's just not working.
Oh, you're on your Mac?
Yeah. Let's see YouTube. Oh, the joys. Okay, maybe this is working now. Okay, maybe I just had to refresh or some shit. Exciting stuff. Oh, there's the live stream. Oh,
What happened?
There we are. No, that's weird. I'm on like the opposite side.
That's what I'm saying. It's irritating that you're not on the left side. And you may have to mute your
I did.
live stream so it's not coming through, but
Yeah.
how do I don't know how to change that because that's irritating. I'm never on the left side. Ever.
That's the mirror thing.
No, that's like your camera.
You might be wrong.
Oh, I think I did it. Hang on. Let's
That's
see if it
weird.
updates. Did it go? Yeah. No, it didn't go. Peyton Abrams, not be able to stay in tune, but wanted to say love the show and miss you, Rusty. Can't wait to see you in July.
Awesome. Peyton,
Yeah.
what's up, dude? Peyton's one of my longtime students. I've been teaching him for many years, since he was a little kid, and now he's grown up into be a seriously fine shredder.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
Very cool.
All right.
So, is everything rocking and rolling?
Yeah, it looks good on this end. Hopefully everybody can hear you pretty good. I can hear you all right.
Where do you see the chat at?
If you go onto your YouTube there, and then on the right side, it'll say live chat.
Right. Yeah, I don't see that.
On your Mac.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
We got 22 people watching right now. Hello, everybody.
Oh, is that where it says say something? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do you get that up by the screen?
To do what?
I mean, I have to scroll down, then I can't see the screen.
Mine's on the left-hand side or right-hand side.
It's not on mine. It's on the bottom. I just pop out chat. I don't know, whatever.
You can pop out the chat.
How do you do that?
Didn't it say pop out chat?
Is that what that means? Pop it out?
You had to like make it its own separate window.
Yeah, I see.
You can move it around.
How do you minimize that? Let's see. Pop out chat.
I think this is worth everybody watching just to help us figure it out as we go.
Yeah. Okay, so learn more. Community guidelines. Oh yeah. Russia, man. Remember those days. Yeah.
So what are you doing there? What are some of the phrases that you're?
Well, let me see here. If I could really figure this thing out, it would be cool.
Which?
So that my chat was next to the screen. Maybe minimize that. I don't know how to work this thing. Whatever.
Turn your volume on your microphone up a little bit too.
Sure. How's that? Check.
Oh, it's way better.
Okay, cool. I don't guess I need to see that. I just need to see the chat over here, really.
Right, yeah, that'd be cool.
Let's get down to the chat. Okay.
Alicia's here. Hi, Alicia.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's going on? Cool. So what was I doing there? Well, it's some pentatonic stuff. And it's Hillbilly Mush is in B minor pentatonic. Of course, my guitars are tuned down a half step, so it would be B flat for all those that are really nitpicky about pitch and tuning down and what you call it and all that stuff, which I really, when I tune down, I don't change what the note is. This is always B no matter what tuning I'm in. You know what I mean? It makes things a lot easier. Why relearn the notes on your fretboard 2 or 3 times? Usually if you're tuned down, your entire band is in the same tuning. Therefore, B is B is B. Now,
that's what I do as well. It's too much to think about.
Right, and even when you're playing with a keyboard player like I did in Outworld, we still talked that way. You know what I mean? It wasn't any different. I think Bobby had something that would shift his keyboards so that it was in line with the guitar, and we didn't have to think about different pitches, whatnot. And that makes things a lot easier. That's for sure.
He just would manipulate the keyboard.
Yes. Yeah,
that's cool.
I think he had a shift feature on his keyboards that would shift him down a half step as well. So even though he was playing B natural, it was a B flat.
See, I never really messed with keyboards. I figured that there'd be something they could do.
Yeah, so somebody says, how are you getting the killer tone, Rusty? Well, I'm using a Kemper, and it's just one of the tones that I dialed in. I think it's an Engel that I got dialed in right at the moment, and I've just got an SM50. Actually, I've got an SM58 on it, which I should have my 57 on it right now on the cab, but I don't have the vocal mic on the cab because I was using it for my voice on the guitar Autopsy regularly, but change that out. No, actually, if it's killer, I'm just gonna leave it. So,
yeah, it sounds good to me.
Glad you like it, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just using the Kemper. It's going into my into a Soldano 212. No, sorry, Rivera 212 blonde cabinet. with Celestion V30s, and I got the SM58 by Shure on it. And that's pretty much it. You know, I always prefer to hear my guitar through a cabinet versus, you know, even if I am running my guitar through the interface, I still have my guitar mic'd up, or not mic'd up necessarily. If I'm recording my guitar through a DAW through my interface, then that's the way it's being recorded, but I'm listening to what is coming out of my speaker cabinet. Right?
It's more
So
raw, I think.
Yeah, I prefer that sound. I'm never really that satisfied with the way my guitar sounds coming through the interface, regardless of if it's coming through a Kemper or Axe Effects or any kind of plug-in. You know, maybe it has something to do with my monitors, but I think my monitors are decent. I got some M-Audio BX8As. You know, those are pretty good monitors. I think they're a little bass heavy at times, but at least that's what Brad says, my singer, who owns his own recording studio, so he knows a little bit more about it than I do. So
Sure.
I'll take his word for it. But that's pretty much the setup at the moment.
Yeah.
You know,
I just got Yamahas. I don't remember what they're like. The
are
5-inch
they
ones or
8
something.
inch, 5 inch?
I think they're the 5 inches. I got them for free, so I can't really
Oh.
complain.
That's cool, man. I got these M-Audios for free too. I've had them for a long time. It was back in the early days of Outworld, I think. I got it. They hooked me up with these four. I've got four of these M-Audio BX8As, and they hooked me up with an interface and stuff like that. And I was really dumb at the time because they hooked me up with that, and they hooked me up Pro Tools, and they sent me this big interface, right? And I was like, well, can you send me a smaller one? I don't know that much about it. I was like, man, should have took the other one and kept it and just learned how to use it. But I mean, it's not hard to use an interface, right?
Not typically.
But that's where my head was back then. You know, it's like
It can be overwhelming, I suppose.
I have a hard time running YouTube. So,
Yeah.
that
Maybe you can hear me. Like,
Nazgul, is he talking about a Seymour Duncan pickup? Somebody.
I don't know. HS5s? I'm not sure what that is. Unless that's the Yamaha 5 thing that he's talking about.
Oh, I see. Never mind. That's huge. I'm such a dork. Let's see. Last this Agradine RC7, and I'm getting my Axe Effects 3. Gonna have a similar tone to yours. Yeah, for sure, man. The RC7's cool, but the RC1 is cooler. I'm getting some new ones of those this week too. There's a shipment coming in. They're finally here.
Yeah, let's spend some time. Let's talk about your guitar.
To be out, man, for sure. Well, what all do you want to talk about? Just to go through the whole rundown
100%.
and everything about it? Sure.
I'll just put you on the main speaker so it's just you so
Sure.
you can show it off a little better.
So this is the new, my new signature model with Ormsby guitars. It's the Ormsby RC1, and it's just you know, I've been designing guitars and trying to get guitars out of my way for many years, just about as long as I've been playing. And I've been lucky enough through the years to work with some people that have been able to help me bring these designs to fruition. Most recently, Perry Ormsby, the owner and the man behind Ormsby Guitars. So, and when I say working on getting the guitar out of my way, what do I mean by that? Well, for example, when I first started playing guitar, when I first started getting good on guitar, I was playing a guitar that me and my dad built out of Warmoth parts, and it was a Randy Rhoads style Jackson. And you know, it was great. I loved it, but I wanted to start playing Strat style guitars, and every time I'd get on a Strat style guitar, my hand would hit the upper horn, so I could never get in here and play and do any kind of stretching, right? So that was a huge problem for me, because that meant I can't get on these guitars and play the way I need to play comfortably. You know, the guitar was in my way. So one of the first guitars I ever had built, custom built, was a beast. And that's where all of this evolved from. But so the idea is to get the guitar out of your way. So how do you do that? Well, this guitar has 27 frets, and if you look at the neck, the cutaway, it goes past the 27th fret. So I have no problem getting all access to 27 frets.
Real close to that pickup too.
Yeah, it's real close to the pickup. Yep. And so my hand actually, the heel of my hand actually goes past the 27th fret. And
That's sweet.
You can't just have a deep cutaway if you don't have the width this way as well, and if you don't have the back sculpted out, which I'll show you in a second. So on top of having a deep cutaways, you've got to have this here so that you can get up here and do as wide a stretch as you can possibly do and not hit. You know what I mean? That's the goal. So that you're not limited at any point on the guitar. Now, if you simply have the width as well, but don't have the back sculpted out, you're going to run into a problem, because if the heel, if you don't have this sculpted out, your hand is going to run into the point right here, which would be over here about approximately. You know what I mean? Because if that comes straight out, it'd be about like right there. You know, so you're still going to have problems. So you can't just have that as well. You've got to go the extra mile, and this has got to be sculpted out like this. You've got to have this little bit of an angle here, right, so that it brings the horn in narrower so that that doesn't hit the back of your hand. And then you want to have this all nice, scooped out and beveled. It's just like, you want it to just fade. You know what I mean? Nice, smooth lines fade in there. And you can see this is a neck through as well. I was doing some tremolo adjustments, so I got the back plate off at the moment. But you know, this right here, you can see the 27th fret is right here, and that's where it's at. So you really have all access to every fret on the guitar. That's the other thing that I wanted to do.
Yeah, it's not the slanted 27. It's a full.
Right. Yeah, it's you have all access. One of the things I was talking to Perry about when we were building this is, you know, I said eventually I want to build a guitar that I have the same accessibility to my frets, my highest frets, as I do as if I was at the 5th fret, which means no restrictions, no limits, not by hitting the body in any way, shape, or form. He's like, well, let's do that now. Let's not wait. And I was like, oh,
Right.
okay, cool. I was used to being told no by former companies with a lot of my crazy ideas. So with Ormsby, it's been a yes to all of my visions and ideas for guitars. You know, so that's a lot of the key to it. Now, also, you have to be able to have access up here, because if you don't have the access up here to get your hand up here for some of these things, you know, if for example, if the heel was, you know, the upper horn came down about here, you know, then you'd have issues with your hand up in here. Now, generally, I don't play with my thumb over the top of the neck, but if I'm up here high on the fretboard bending notes and bending strings, then yeah, I'm going to have my thumb over the top of the neck, because when you're bending or doing vibrato, that's a hand thing. It's not a finger thing. It's, you know, you vibrato and bend with the strength of your hand, not your fingers. So you've got to be able to get up there and grab those notes, you know. So that's super important. You've got to have it all the way around. So depth, width, sculpted and scooped out of the back. You can see it's like, you know, it's nice and smooth right here all the way around. You know, it even goes into the upper horn, fades like that. You know, so it's all nice and sculpted out. And you can see the thickness of the neck. The neck doesn't start getting thick really at all until about the 24th fret. That's where the neck starts to get fatter at 24, right there. You know, and that's because, you know, you pretty much got to get some meat on there at some point. But the neck is super thin, which has always been one of my important things for me about guitars.
Yeah, me too.
Like a super thin neck. I like the profile of the neck. I like the neck to fade into the top. I don't like it to be like real thin and then have a square shoulder on each side.
Right.
I like it to fade on each side, so that no matter where my thumb's at, it's smooth. You know, because if you have a big blocky shoulder, then you get up here with your thumb, and then it's, you know, it's kind of awkward. It just takes away from the feel of the guitar. So I like the shoulders to roll off into the fretboard. That's super important. And another, you know, other features of the neck that's super important to me is just really, really big frets. I use, these are stainless steel frets, but I usually use, and I can't remember which one's taller, 6100 or 6000. Whichever the two are that are taller, that's what I use for the height of the frets on this guitar.
Is that like super jumbo or something?
Probably. It's the tallest frets you can get. You know what I mean? So and that's what I like, because when I play this guitar, or when I play it or anybody else plays it, it's your fingers against the strings against the frets. Your fingers never hit the fretboard. You know,
Right.
they're never dragging, they're never hitting. And that's super important to me. But at the same time, it takes a little bit of adjustment to get used to. If you're used to playing a guitar with really flat frets or small frets, and you're used to your fingers hitting in the fretboard, usually guitar players that play on those kind of guitar necks are used to digging in and gripping really tightly, right? So if you get on my guitar and you grip like that, it's going to sound like you're playing out of tune, because you're pushing the string sharp with your fingers. It's going towards the fretboard. So this helps you actually in the long run develop a really light touch, which is essentially what you want. When you need to dig in, you can still dig in. You can bend strings and vibrato and get dirty and all that stuff. But when you're trying to play fast, you're not digging in when you're playing fast. It's about getting from point A to point B with, you know, a light touch. You know, you just want to be floating across the strings. And having said that, I like my guitars to be set up as to what I call touch sensitive. Basically, all you have to do is touch it and the note's going to play. You know, as minimal effort and energy exerted is is necessary. That makes things a lot smoother. But it makes it a very, very sensitive guitar. You touch it and it's going to do something. That's
Somebody
pretty cool.
said on a YouTube comment, it made me chuckle. They said they were like, Rusty says he wanted a guitar that stays out of his way, and they're like, I feel like this is more for the guitar's benefit than for Rusty's benefit at this point.
Yeah, could be, man, could be.
You
Because
just
I've
play it
been
so
known to
brutally.
I've been known to get guitars out of my way via hammers and wood chisels and things like that. So
I've heard some horror
yeah,
stories.
those are some interesting stories. We can maybe talk about that later.
Yeah.
But
Well, I want to talk about this guitar that
sure. Let me
Ormsby also sent when you're done. When you're done.
sure. Let me finish the rundown on this guy. So that's the fretboard on this guitar is ebony. I like ebony fretboards a lot. Ebony's a brighter wood, which I didn't initially know that years ago, but I've discovered through the years that ebony is a brighter wood than maple. I always thought maple was a brighter wood than ebony, and it's not. Ebony is a harder wood, therefore it's a brighter tone. So I like the ebony fretboard, but I also like maple as well. But this is ebony. These, I don't know if you probably can't tell on here, but these fret markers glow in the dark. They're lumilés. So the fret markers, the logo on the 12th fret, all glow in the dark, the side dots, which is pretty cool and handy, especially if you're on a dark stage or something like that, and the lights go out and you need to see where you're going. So that's kind of the neck. The icing on the cake is the headstock, dude. I mean, that's got to be the coolest headstock I've ever seen in the world. It's
I
pretty
agree.
rad. Love that. We got some locking tuners on here. Ormsby locking tuners, and the body is just me and Perry went back and forth for quite a while, just trying to get the body just right. We went back to this drawing board a couple times until we finally got it just right. It was, it's like, we knew, and I knew what I needed for playability out of the guitar, but we were designing this guitar. This is a new guitar for Ormsby. It's a new guitar for me. So this is not like I just went to Ormsby Guitars and we just popped my name on an already existing guitar. This guitar was built from scratch, from ground zero.
Right.
A non-existing guitar prior to this. So we designed the new body. A couple of features or mainstays that I always use, my EMG pickups. I use an EMG 85-7 in the bridge and a 707 in the neck. Have to have the Floyd Rose locking, Floyd Rose low profile tremolo. I can't play a regular Floyd Rose because the fine tuners are in the way. So with this guitar, I can go straight across and the fine tuners don't get in the way. And also another mainstay feature is that, we route the neck a little bit deeper in the body so that the top of the tremolo is usually always flush with the top of the guitar body. This way, when you're picking on the low string, or regardless of where you're picking, your hand never gets to a point and drops off, or your hand doesn't change height, basically. So that makes it a lot easier and more consistent for your picking. Super important, and it's routed out pretty heavily, so you can pull it really sharp, or dive bomb all the way down. And one volume, keep it simple, right? I don't ever use a tone knob, so why put one on my guitars? Tone knob's wired on 10, that's where it's always going to be anyway, and I don't have to worry about something going wrong live and wondering why my tone sounds like shit because I accidentally hit my tone knob and turned it off. So eliminate that problem. One three-way, it's all you need, and it's strategically placed too. I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand all the meticulous details that go into designing a guitar. I mean, everything down to where you put the volume knob in relationship to the selector and everything else, and where the tremolo is and how to get your finger through, and for fast pickup selections and on and off with the volume control and whatnot. Threw a kill switch on just for fun. And then of course the input jack. This is one of Perry's designs. It's pretty cool. It's like routed out here, so it's like kind of hidden. You don't see it from the side. It's pretty cool. And then of course the top is nice and sculpted, like this. This is good for your body. And the body itself is made out of mahogany, but it's got a 1/4-inch maple cap. So I mean, it's like a good thick cap of maple. It's not like a veneer or something just like laid over the top of it. It's a 1/4-inch cap of maple, and that gives you that good solid heavy tone, man, with good sustain. The neck itself is maple, and it's got I believe that's Wenge, I don't know, or Babinga or something like that for reinforcement. I don't remember that specifically what that is. Do you know what that is, Zach?
I can look it up real quick. I got Ormsby's site up.
Sure, but so
It's a freaking sweet guitar.
it is, man.
Back when we first started talking, I told you that like this would be a guitar that, because I don't buy signature models from people ever.
Right.
I didn't buy Jeff Loomis's. I didn't buy like the Sinister Gates from Schecter. I didn't buy any of those, and it wasn't because they're bad. It's just like there was always something about them that I wasn't like, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah, right.
But this guitar, I remember I was talking to Alicia about it, and I was like, this is like all the way down to just having like the 3-way switch, the 27 frets.
Yeah.
It was the guitar I wanted. It's the first signature guitar I've ever bought. So, and that's after 15, 16 years of playing and testing. I mean, because I've played all of those signatures from, Guitar Center or wherever. And I just was like, but, it's not cut away enough for me. And my hands are fat. And, there's always something. But this one, I was like, that's the one. And I got the purple one, too. And they came in purple, which is like the color that I love. And let me look. I'm looking at your guitar here.
Sure.
You were looking at the reinforcement of the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah, does it say what that is? Also, does it have the radius of the fretboard on there?
Yeah, so it says it's a 5-piece maple, a Wingay.
Yep, Wingay. That's it. That's what
Wingay maple with carbon fiber reinforced rods.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
The neck dimensions 17 millimeter constant D.
Also, one of the things that I forgot to mention is that this is a multi-scale fretboard. It's a very slight multi-scale, very slight fan, and it's 26.2 on the low B side and 25.5 on the high E side, which is the normal, what most guitars are, 25.5. So it's just a slight fan. It's enough to give you a little bit of tension, extra tension for your low strings. This is the first guitar in existence, I believe, that has a multi-scale fretboard and a Floyd Rose, lacking tremolo system. And the nut was handmade by Perry Ormsby. He designed this nut, and that's pretty cool right there in that. For sure, it just shows you the brilliance.
Yeah, I mean, he has I've talked to him multiple times, and he just has a really good sense of what will work on a guitar and he can tell you right away if it won't.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's good intuition on things, how things work. You only know that kind of information through experience. So that's very cool. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but I am forgetting something. It's got the slight scallop. I don't know how well, if you guys can see this at all or not, but it starts at the 12th fret, and it kind of comes up like this, and it goes down. So it starts at the 12th fret by only covering the high E and B, and then as we get up to the 17th fret area, it comes about that high, and then it starts to go back down until you get back down to the 27th.
Now, is that because of the
scallop.
Floyd?
No, the scallop.
Well, no, I meant not the scallop. I meant the multi-scale thing. I'm totally off.
What do you mean?
Did they have to straighten out the multi-scale so that way the Floyd would work right?
See, this fretboard never straightens out.
Oh.
What it does is the tremolo becomes the 0 fret. Right?
Oh, okay, I see.
That's the straight fret, the tremolo. So it starts at an angle, but it never completely straightens till you get here. That's the straight fret. So the whole thing goes this way. Most of the time when you have a multi-scale fretboard, what are you grinning about, dude?
My brother's trolling me in the chat,
okay.
and I'm really trying to talk about him.
What's up, Derek? So anyway, this fretboard, it starts, most multi-scale fretboards will start like on an angle like this, and then they'll straighten out and then kick back the other way.
Oh, right.
This one continues that angle all the way up, and it's the tremolo that itself gives that straight fret. I think that's what they call it, straight fret.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very strange guitar.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, if you're somebody that needs those higher frets and wants full access, that would be the guitar to get.
Yeah, it's certainly not. I don't think it's certainly not necessary for a lot of people that don't play that. I play out on the extreme edge, and I need a guitar that can go the extra mile. This thing is it's like a rocket ship, dude. One other thing I forgot to mention is that I have inverted strap locks. That's very important to me as well. I don't like the big strap buttons sticking out. It's cosmetically pleasing. And plus, by having the strap pin back here as opposed to on the tip, it sits, when you stand up with the guitar and hold it, it doesn't shift like it would if you had the strap pin up here. Right? Normally, if you have a strap pin up here, and when you stand up, the guitar will shift over a little bit. Mm-hmm. But when you have the strap pin back here, when you stand up or you're seated, it stays the same. And that's pretty important to me because I used to always fight that with other guitars. I'd be practicing sitting down and stand up, and it's like, all right, now it's a little bit off. And, that slight little bit of change in where you're holding the guitar changes all the mechanics of everything you practice. I learned that the hard way years ago when I was a kid. I remember I'd sit at home and practice my solos all the time for this band I was in when I was right out of high school, and I'd go to rehearsals at night, and I had my strap with my guitar down really low. I couldn't play any of my solos ever at practice, and I'd get so pissed off. And I think I was reading an interview with Billy Sheehan one time, and he said something about strap height in relationship to playing, and it was like, raised that strap way up, and it's been up here ever since. So,
Well, I have like lower back pain just from life, I guess. I don't know. I've hurt my back multiple times, and I can't do the low guitar straps anymore. Like, when you're a kid, it's all cool to like have your arm out and you're just strumming really low punk rock style. But man, now I'm a bitch. I have to keep it higher, and because I can't let my arm hang, and it's just horrible. So I'm excited. I've never had inverted. I can't remember. Does it come with the inverted strap locks? Where, but like, I mean, does it come with the attachments? Because most people are going to have regulars. Okay.
Yeah, it should come with the attachment. I mean, it should be already built into the guitar, which means that the other piece, the locking mechanism that goes on your strap,
should come in a package.
Come with it. I mean, I would imagine so. That would be
okay.
Weird, because I don't think they sell them separately. You know what I mean?
Okay, good. Because that was one thing I was like, man, I don't know if it's coming or if I have to go. I mean, I don't care.
Guitar, what kind of strap locks does that one have on it? Do you're playing?
It's normal.
Okay.
It's got the. I can't freaking see.
I got you. Just a regular strap button or pin, whatever.
Yeah. So this guitar is badass, dude. Like, it looks like it's something straight out of the '80s. Like from what's the guy from Death?
Oh, Chuck Schuldiner or something like that. I don't know how to say it.
They're gonna give us shit about not being able to pronounce it, but I promise
from Death.
It's got that really cool '80s vibe to me. Yeah. And at first I wasn't. When they told me they were going to send me this one, I was like, yeah, but I kind of like Strats. That's always been my thing. But I got it, and I was like, well, it kind of sits like a Strat. It doesn't sit like a V.
Right.
But it can sit like a V.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah,
because, when you're soloing, you just want to get that stretch. But I just looked it up, too. It's got an ebony fretboard as well.
Nice.
So I didn't even know that was a thing. I never really thought about it. But the coolest part is I thought, just looking at the photo, it would just be crackled on one side, but the whole thing is crackled.
That's even more sick. I love that. I that's one of the things I don't like is when companies just do something cool on the front and it's not the whole guitar. It's like the whole guitar should be that. You know what I mean?
Sorry to get it in focus here.
Yeah.
The only thing, and I don't mean to be like whiny, but it does not have the headstock. It's got the traditional non-hacksaw looking.
Oh, I see.
It looks badass, but it doesn't have the hook,
Right, yeah. I mean, that's such a cool headstock, man. It should be like on everything.
I agree. And here's the thing: I've been talking to Perry about just some ideas for guitar building myself, and just some ideas I've had for some of them.
It'd be cool to take this idea right here for this horn and put it on the upper horn on that guitar.
That's what I was gonna say, and then maybe put a 27th fret up here.
Sure.
And because I like this because it looks cool, but it does kind of hinder you right here for me because I got fat little hands. But the one thing I didn't know I was gonna like is the push pull on the tone knob, where it splits it to a single coil.
Do you find that you can use that on the fly?
Not on the fly, but when I'm recording, it's nice to have that ability, and it sounds good on clean tones. Really,
right? Yeah,
but
for me to be able to use something live and quickly, I don't know that I could do a push pull, but something for practicality for like recording and stuff like that. That's cool.
That'd be really the only reason.
Yeah,
but
I love the sound of single coils.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. The one thing that engineer-wise I like, I mean, it's got like the locking tuners, which is great. I needed one with a 24 fret 7-string with a Floyd.
Right.
But with these kind of guitars, you look at like Dave Davidson from Revocation and kind of any of these X styles, the input jack's always like right here. And then you can't really sit like a V. It doesn't fit comfortably. But on this, they put it on the back.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's at an angle.
Right.
And it doesn't it doesn't hit me at all, and I can sit either way.
Yeah.
And it just sits really nice. So overall, really like the guitar.
That's a definite bonus, having that, because there's nothing worse than getting a guitar and going, oh wow, I can't sit with it the way I normally sit. Because the input jack's in the wrong place or something like that. So,
well, and that's kind of how the other one that I have. It's over there, but it's
which one? The other orange would be
the purple one that I got. It's a Strat, but it has it on this side, but it's coming in at that angle, and I can't sit like this without cutting off the sound because my legs are fat.
Right.
So that's why. So that's why.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's really cool. And honestly, if I could get a signature version of this somehow, like kind of, make a few tweaks for myself,
Sure.
I would move the three-way to here because I like to do like the Ingve pinky.
Yeah.
I don't like to have to move my hand.
Right. Yeah, that far.
But I mean, those are little things that don't change the overall dynamic of the guitar. It's just little things for me.
Those are the main things that make it play faster for you. It's kind of like the evolving guitarist, right? Guitar players continue to evolve, so the guitar has got to evolve with the guitarist.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great guitars out there, but when you're pushing the edge, you need something a little more streamlined, a little bit more in tune with the individuals. And I think when you get that right, a lot of people recognize it and can benefit from those advancements. Really,
I agree. So let's talk about Guitar Autopsy real quick.
Sure.
Now because we've got a lot of people on now, everybody's that probably is going to join is here.
Sweet. What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out the show, man. We really appreciate you guys a lot.
So, did you think that it would turn out the way that it was going to turn out? Like when we first started?
I wasn't sure. I didn't really have any preconceived notions of what it was going to be or what it could be. I just knew that I believed in it. You know what I mean? And that's how I go into any project. I've got to believe in it. And I believe that we've really got something unique going here. I don't think there's anything really like it. It's off the cuff. It's improvised. It's not. There's no scripted questions and things like that. Sure we ask the artists that are on the show some certain questions and stuff like that, just to make sure that we're promoting whatever they're doing at the moment. But the show is just really, three people sitting around having a conversation. Just as if you would be after dinner with your family or friends somewhere and just talking. It's not an interview per se. It's a conversation. Like if Joe Rogan played guitar, kind of.
Yeah.
So
if Joe Rogan played guitar, we'd have no chance.
Right, yeah. But I mean, it's like, I don't think we've gotten way as far out there as Joe has on some of the subject matter, but I'm sure that's to come,
It's got to get the right person, I suppose.
Yeah, because really that's what the show's about. It's about anything goes, guitars, life, music business, anything and everything music related and life, because a lot of times when we're going to have an artist on, they might have just gotten off the road and the last thing they want to continue to talk about is more guitar and music. They just want to talk about, what they do in their off time when they're off the road and how they decompress and, get back to somewhat of a regular life. Because when you're on the road, it's just totally it's not regular. It's not normal in any way, shape, or form, really.
The
other hand, some people live on the road and when they get home, it's weird.
Right. Well, I was going to say, too, I mean, just from some of these guys have said to us that they appreciate we're not asking the same freaking questions that they always get asked about the same albums, the same thing. Like, dude, I haven't done that for 10 years. Let's move on to something new.
Oh, man.
And, and they appreciate that it's just because sometimes we don't even talk about guitars.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, let's just talk about like, I don't know. Do we have other interests sometimes too?
Yeah, for sure.
Not a lot for me.
How did you decorate your house for Christmas last year?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah. What is your diet like? I mean, everything, because, whether you're a touring musician or you're at home, your diet's a super important thing. How you eat affects your mental clarity and your mental well-being and how well off you and balanced you are in that aspect is going to have a direct reflection and consequence on your playing. Mm-hmm. And, everything matters. It really does. Every little thing,
who really surprised me the most, or I should say that I really had enjoyed the most was Cyric.
Yeah.
Terry Cyric.
Terry's a good dude, man.
I've been, he gave me his phone number and we chat every now and again, and he's hilarious, dude. Like,
dude.
Like he's just how fast he comes up with jokes. Or like the other day we were texting about something about lessons, and he was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Sometimes you just want somebody to tell you, hey, dude, I totally understand," and that's it. And then I just texted him back and I said, "Hey, dude, I totally understand." And he just laughed really hard, and he's just overall a good guy, and I'm really glad like for you to bring him up to me, because I would have never thought about it. I didn't hear about him until you did, and and then now his episode's doing really great.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are coming out of the woodwork being like, hey, I remember when he did this, this, and that. So I
Yeah.
think they appreciate it too.
Yeah, Terry's a great dude. I've known him for many, many years. We taught together at the guitar workshop at the Connecticut campus, and it was good. We had a great time. It was just like, every day at lunch and whatnot, and in between classes was like comedy hour. We were all just cracking jokes and creating fictional characters like Singvei and the Wands and all kinds of other silly
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's what you do to keep
Derek,
yourself entertained. Most of the
Derek
time, it's like
says,
it's a comedy show.
Derek says he plays fast, but he jokes faster.
That's right.
Right. So that's Terry.
There you go. It's like Singvei. Singvei sings just like Ingvei plays guitar.
Yeah.
In
I
Singvei.
I wish I would have been there for that conversation, but I
Oh, that
probably
was
would have only been like
great.
5.
Yeah. Yeah. Singvei. He's got
Um,
vibrato too.
I know. Well, yeah, and I don't know. I think that all that we have left on the show is Bumblefoot. He's out on Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and then Badio is the last one for season 2.
Season 1.
Or yeah, season 1, and then we're gonna go on. We're gonna go on to season 2.
Yeah.
So just a huge thank you for pretty much everybody who put in the time to do the show and just spend a couple hours out of their day, and it's been really really cool, man. I didn't we don't expect anything from anybody, but it's nice.
Yeah, and big thanks to everybody that was on season 1. Everybody was super cool, very easy to work with. Just chill. Feel very blessed to know these guys and be able to hang out and talk music with them. Every one of them is great.
I agree. And so on that note, let's talk about season 2 for a second and who we have. We don't have all the people yet, but we have a couple.
We've got
We got one
great-
big one.
We've got a great list of potential artists for season 2, and it's not going to be a problem filling it up.
No.
It's just going to be a matter of picking the right guy and making sure that their schedule permits and works with it. But season 2 is going to start off with a bang. Guess anybody want to take a guess at who season 2 is going to open with?
Yeah, we'll keep talking. Everybody guess who they think is in the chat, who they think is going to be the kicker-offer of season 2.
Give us your guesses on who's going to start season 2.
While you say that,
Now, if anybody out there of you guys that I know and I've told you, it doesn't count. So don't
yeah,
say
so shut the hell up.
anything. Yeah. So,
While they're guessing,
okay.
everybody needs to go get a shirt.
Yes. Guitar Autopsy. It's great. Get a shirt and or a poster or whatever, and shirt would be really cool because this way you can take a picture with you wearing your shirt and we'll post it as a Guitar Autopsy super nerd fan.
Yeah, and big shout out to my wife for creating the design.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And she's working on season 2's photo too, so we'll get another shirt design maybe. Or
Does
poster
everybody
design.
know who's on the shirts?
Yeah. That's Rusty and that's me.
Yeah.
But on the next one, it'll look more like us because she drew over your face to get the perfect dimension of
Okay,
your face,
cool.
and so it'll look a little more
Yeah.
whatever. These were just supposed to be like zombie type people or something. Oh,
Yeah.
I just dropped my guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. Sebastian said, "Dude, you're pulling a heart out of a guitar."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Guitar Autopsy.
The next one's design is really cool. We'll talk about it, but it's you and you're like down here facing outward, and I like cut your head open and took your scalp off,
Yeah.
and I have a pick and I'm like picking your brain for information, and I'm dressed like a doctor.
Yeah, like Hannibal Lecter style. That's great.
Yeah, it's. I mean, she's got a sick sense of humor, so it works out pretty good. And especially when you're doing metal, man, it seems like horror and metal and the dark stuff kind of go hand in hand. So it's nice.
For sure, man. For sure.
So nobody's. We got a couple people. They said Buckethead, the guy from Dragon Force. I'm assuming Herman Lee,
Oh yeah, okay, they're back there.
and then Andy James,
Who's Thedo? The dude.
the Do. I don't know who that is.
Bring the do. Who's the do? Somebody enlighten us on the do. Are we that far out of the know?
Somebody says they got the Xenocide inlays tattooed on their arm. What level of fanboy does that make them?
Isn't that Peyton? Yeah, that's Peyton. Yeah, that's cool. Super.
Well,
super.
maybe send me a photo of that. We'll post it because that's
Yeah,
dope.
for sure. Yeah.
But anyway, let's say, well, a couple good guesses. Buckethead would be pretty cool. Herman Lee. I bet we could probably get Herman Lee.
Yeah, I've talked to Herman.
He's a good buddy of yours.
For sure.
So who is going to kick off season 2 of Guitar Autopsy?
None other than the legendary man himself, Mr. John Petrucci.
And we already did the interview, so it's
Yep,
not like it's potential. It's already done. We just have to release
it. Done. One and done. So
that was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great hang. I've known John for a long time. Quite a long time now, and I taught at 2 of his guitar universes, 1 and 2, and it was a great time. Oh, that's Brad.
Oh, cool. Hey, Brad.
But I had to turn the ringer off because it's a little annoying.
Well, also we might get demonetized if we start playing Rush on this.
Oh, yeah, don't say that. Right.
Yeah, John Petrucci. That was. Well, I want to tell the story about that.
So somebody's asking, how about Michelangelo Beatty? It's like he's on the season.
He's the last person on season 1.
He's already on season 1. He's going to be the last episode.
So yeah, and that was a good conversation too. Yeah. A lot of good insight.
For sure.
His will be
fun. It had a lot of good health information on hand injuries and how to avoid them and whatnot.
Yeah. So Bumblefoot's June 1st, the Tuesday, June 1st, okay. And then Beatty is June 8th. That's awesome. And that's the end of season 1. We're going to take a 4-week stop and just kind of let the episodes roll and have, give a little breath of fresh air there. Mm-hmm. But now, while that's going on, that 4 weeks, you're going to be doing a lot of episodes of just of your own, not episodes, I shouldn't say that. You're going to be doing just stuff for your YouTube and Patreon channels.
Yeah, trying
where
to
it's caught up. Just some cool stuff. And, shout out to everybody who's done his Patreon page. And,
thank you all tremendously.
Been very patient and understanding about just, the technical side of everything and letting it flow. Yeah,
for sure. It's going to be cool. I'm going to be doing working on a bunch of new videos, stuff like that, and I'm getting caught up on I've got some guest work that I've got to finish for a few people, and I'm going to get caught up on that. And then once I'm caught up on the guest work, I'm not going to be taking on any other guest work projects. I'm going to be focusing on writing new material and getting some new instrumental stuff out there as well. And as well as I'm sure that now that the COVID thing is starting to die down a little bit or somewhat, I think people are starting to get ready to, start doing live performances a little bit more seriously. So I'm sure that my band Day of Reckoning is going to be doing some gigging in the next coming months or something like that. I'm not sure. We haven't really begun to discuss it because, at first I was initially like, until we get the green light all the way around, I don't even want to start booking shows because then you might have to cancel it or whatever. And I'm going to wait until everybody can come out and see it instead of just going out and playing for a handful of people or whatever. And that's,
Book a show in Omaha.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Lincoln.
Right. Yeah.
And then I'll open for you.
There you go.
And I'd get my stuff out there too.
We can do a Guitar Autopsy band.
Dude, that'd be pretty sick. Have a couple tunes that is just for... Well, that's something too we should talk about is our goals with that. Yeah. You want to take the rein on that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think we should start doing some Guitar Autopsy. So Guitar Autopsy can be the focal point, and we can start writing our own music for the show, which in turn can be into live performances, albums, and all that kind of stuff. Just do the super shred guitar duo. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing is too, it doesn't have to be limited to that thing. We can play any style, and take the music in any direction we want to take it in, and show off sides of our playing that most people might not know about, because I know that there's a lot of my playing that most people don't know about as well. But and then we need to work on the concept that we had. What was it, the micro song?
The micro tunes, yeah.
Micro tunes, yeah. I think that's a great concept, because most people
I agree.
Have short attention span theater, right? So write some micro tunes. What were you thinking about as far as time lengths on these songs?
So about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes of just straight, non-stop intense. Yeah. The reason why is sometimes a song you listen to it and after about 2 minutes you're like, yeah, it just seems like they're copy pasting or something. Like it's the same thing over and over again, and I could have just done fine with 2 minutes. Yeah. It's like a quickie, Yeah. You don't always have to go all out and get the candles set up and be super romantic. Sometimes you just gotta hit it and quit it and
that's right.
Call it what it is, man.
Yeah, don't have to get the candles out and all that shit.
Yeah, you don't have to be all the time. But because I've got something where I'll be done and I'll write it and I'm like, man, that feels right. It's like 2 minutes, and then somebody will be like, well, you should really flesh it out into a full thing. It's like, no, I don't want to. It sounds... Yeah. I said everything I needed to say in that 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, and you can have it. Something else that I'm very interested in writing is forward linear movement. You know what I mean? Writing a piece of music that never comes back and repeats anything. It's just a continual progress, push forward. You know.
Well,
You know what I mean?
that's a lot of cool concepts, but very difficult to pull off, I think.
Well, if we're
Sometimes.
talking about a micro tune or a micro song, you have constant forward movement where everything is just comes to a gradual climax, so to speak, without the
That's true.
candles.
Yeah, I did.
Just get in there and do the job, man. Get the fuck out,
That's right.
so to speak. You know, I mean, you know,
I
as long
think
as it's done
that
properly.
I think that especially when since we don't really live next to each other, we don't
Yeah,
have the
man.
luxury
What's
of
that
being
drive approximately? If like we wanted to go hang out, you know,
14
dude, come over
hours.
tonight, bro. That's 14 hours just to go hang out.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a
So,
hike.
but with that, it's easier to write a 2-minute song than I think sitting there and trying to flesh out a 6-7 minute song.
Yeah,
Not that I wouldn't. So what would be cool is a lot of people have asked us about doing putting the episodes on Spotify so they can listen to it like podcast
Yeah.
form. That is in the works. The problem has just been getting the audio to work right.
okay.
And now that we've, you notice Rusty's audio is really good. My audio is better. I'm finally comfortable where I can take those things down, drip them into an MP3 file, and then put them on Spotify.
Right.
And then on that Spotify channel, we can have the episodes and then put some songs. So it's
Yeah.
got like almost like albums, I guess.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
like, why not? Especially nowadays, man. I mean, the whole world of music has changed. So
Yeah.
we may as well create.
Yeah, man. And I think, once I get caught up on some of this other bullshit that I got going on, or not bullshit, shouldn't say it like that. This other stuff that I've got, other projects and things like that. That was not the right way to say it, but, it's just get caught up on everything that Zach. As soon as I get caught up, then I can just focus, I can do, I'm sure that some of the people out there must want to hear some new instrumental stuff by me, I'm sure.
I think it's the number one question you get.
Yeah.
Hey, when are you going to release something new? When can I hear something new? And because think of how long ago was your album that
My instrumental album was released in March, I think, 2003.
so
And then
you're
the remix-
probably better now, I assume.
Maybe, I hope
Maybe.
so. Maybe I've de-evolved.
Ah,
I've been decomposing, though. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
but I mean, you're smarter,
Yeah.
and theoretically speaking, and more efficient, I think, on certain things, and maybe you can write songs that are, just where you're at now.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I plan on doing. But I plan on a lot of things. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
life
making it-
happens, and then other things, then things, get in the way. But yeah, I mean, the goal is to just get in there and just tear it up, man. Take my playing and push it to the next level, and just go nuts.
Be
And,
sweet.
Yeah.
And you got all the things to do it. And I think that everybody would be pretty excited to hear something new. And again, if you're not doing 8-10 minute songs, you can maybe get it done a little bit more efficiently too.
And a big holdup with a lot of my stuff has just been getting it done, having to rely on other people, or not having the right equipment. And I'm just about there on having all the right gear and stuff. Got a new computer coming, new Mac,
Sweet.
and got Superior Drummer 3, and I think we're gonna get Cubase or Pro Tool or something like that. Me and my girlfriend Christy are gonna get that whole setup rocking, and because she's an amazing musician too. She plays violin and piano. Everybody should check out her stuff. Her name's Christy Craig. Look it up. Some legit stuff.
Speaking of her, she got you a birthday gift that everybody in the chat keeps asking about.
Oh yes.
Let's check that out.
We want to see the.
That video did really well too.
Yeah.
Just from a view standpoint, it seemed like people were pretty excited about that.
Here is the Taylor. This is probably the best birthday present I've ever got in my life.
Other than friendship with me.
That's right. Thanks, Zach. What would I do without you? You are the man. Seriously, dude. I appreciate all the fucking hard work and effort and everything that you do.
I am a Taylor guitar.
That's right. So, Taylor Guitars. This is, I don't know what to say. I mean, I think just looking at it says enough.
I like that binding.
I like the binding. I like this cool little slick bevel back here, man. It's all nice and contoured. It feels very smooth, and you can plug it in, which I should do. And but first unplug. Here it is with not being plugged in. So it sounds pretty rad. And it can shred too.
Now, do you know much about the setup on it at all? Like
Actually,
wood and whatnot?
I don't.
What's the model?
I was looking at it the other day. It's you know what? It's the things in my case. It's like a C something 14, 914C or something. Let me see if I can reach this thing without my mic coming off. Wait a second. Or it might be easier to look it up. I don't know.
Is it not on the back of the headstock? Doesn't have any.
Maybe. No.
Damn. Or inside the body?
Let me see. It's model 914 CE LTD. It's a 914 CE LTD, limited edition or something like that.
There we go.
It's like a... It's very warm too. A lot of tailors are known for being bright.
So I got some specifications on it here.
Okay.
Let's take a look at it real quick, just so people, because everybody's asking what the wood is. I want to give them the right info.
Sure.
So it looks like the nuts and the saddle down there are black graphite.
Mm-hmm.
The truss rod is truss rod cover is a West African ebony.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sides and the back of the guitar is an Indian rosewood.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. The top is a sinker redwood.
Mm-hmm.
And Godo tuners.
I feel like I'm on that channel, you know.
Yeah.
Showing off the...
You got to pout your lips a little more.
Yep.
There you go. The binding is a West African ebony, 2-piece no wedge, gloss finish. The peggings are ebony, and the edge trimmings are koa. So it's really slick, dude. Like,
yeah, it's
because here's the thing, like I don't play acoustics very often.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually own one.
Yeah.
My dad does, but I don't. And if I were to get one, I would want it to be that kind of quality. You know what I mean? Like I would want one that's nice like that. So are you thinking about maybe writing a new acoustic tune?
I've got a ton of acoustic stuff from just way back, you know. And I've got some stuff that I've been working on as well. That I would love to just, you know, put out. It'd be cool. You know.
I know it could be something really nice to, especially just having that inspiration on a new guitar.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that I could be working on putting out. I like, you know, I'd like to have a nylon string as well. You know, to put out some stuff on. I think the combination of nylon and steel would be awesome. I don't know if anybody recognizes that or not, but little
That's sweet.
dead. man. What is that? Little dark matter, you know? It's pretty rad, man. This guitar sounds great.
So your son, Sebastian, asks, which guitar out of your entire collection is your favorite?
Which guitar? Well, that's a tough one.
Be careful what you say here because Christy's watching.
I know, I saw that. Hey, baby.
Derek wants you to play Diary of a Madman. You got that one in your...
Whoops. Whoops.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, little diary. Yeah, so I don't know. That's a hard question, Sebastian. I think maybe you already know.
So let's do this, man. Let's grab your electric back.
Sure.
And let's first what we should do is let's go to a Q&A quick from everybody in the live chat. Because we kind of have some questions that have passed by. So if we didn't answer any questions, let's do that now, just to make sure we get those answered. And then after that, we will do a little kind of trade off, maybe some licks.
Sure.
Some stuff that you're working on, some stuff that I'm working on, and then we'll call this thing good because we're sitting at about almost an hour now. So
Right, awesome.
And then
Great.
we'll go from there. So anybody who wants to ask some questions, go ahead. And we've got a little delay here, so between us and the live chat. So
Okay.
got a second. Let me put us back on this view.
Oh yeah, I gotta get us on tutor mode. So,
Yeah. Good old Randy. I was talking about Randy Rhodes with a couple of my students the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I freaking love Randy Rhodes too.
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
Just I mean, like when you look at the photos of him from the live shows and stuff, just like immortal, dude.
Epic, yeah. I mean, that's the image of what a rock god guitar hero looks like. For sure. It's plus being an Ozzy, man, the stage that Ozzy had back then with the castle and all that stuff and the staircase, just super epic and super cool, man. For sure.
So we got a question here. Are there any plans to release a full tab book off of your instrumental debut album?
It's possible. I have a lot of the stuff tabbed right now, but it's like when I watch people try to play my stuff, it's never that close to being right. Zach, your version of Under the Influence was pretty spot on.
I think there was one spot you had to kind of like correct me a little bit.
Yeah. But most of the time when I see people playing it, the only stuff that they come close to getting right is the sweeps. And which that stuff's pretty obvious, it would seem like, you know what I mean? Most people know when it's a sweep or whatever. So, the reason I kind of hang on to those tabs and I don't release them is because it's the only thing that people can't steal from me. So I kind of treasure them. Everybody can get out there and they can rip off my music all day long. They can rip off my instructional products all day long. And that really hurts the musician. If everybody bought the stuff that I sell, I'd probably be a lot more well off right now. You know what I mean? There probably would have been times where I wouldn't have been starving and had to, go to the soup kitchen. No, kidding. But you know what I'm saying? So I don't put them out there because I think eventually what's going to happen is people are going to buy them, then they're going to just share them, or they're going to get ripped off, and just like everything else. So it's the only thing that can't be stolen from me right now.
They can get some stuff from your Patreon page, though, right?
They can get some stuff. That's the only place you can get anything official is my Patreon page.
And you're
There
going to
is stuff
hopefully
up
be
there.
uploading more stuff.
Yeah, and we're going to be uploading more stuff. And the other thing is that's cool about the Patreon page is you get to hear outtakes and extra solos that were either not used for any of the projects that I've done, or like if I do most of the time when I do guest solos for other people's albums, I usually record two versions. So a lot of the second versions never get heard because they don't go onto the album. So I've been sitting on all of these extra solos for other people's albums that I've been going to post on Patreon. I think some of them are up there now, so you get to hear some stuff like that. I think that's really cool to be able to hear that, and just different lessons and tabs and just personal things that you can't get anywhere else. So the Patreon thing's really worth it if you're into what I'm doing.
Yeah, and especially like I think you're moving right now. You're kind of trying to get settled in with some stuff. So hopefully people
Yep.
know that it's not that you're not releasing it. It's just that life is
Right.
kind of like crazy. But
Sure. Yeah.
we'll start releasing more and more stuff, and we'll have to kind of look through the archives a bit and get some stuff posted more and more. So, so the next thing is,
Yeah, and real quick, just a thank you
oh
to
yeah,
all of you out there that did buy all my products and stuff like that. I appreciate the support 110%, very much so.
yeah,
So
Nazgul.
yeah.
He said I bought a lot of your stuff back in the day. If that
Art
makes
of
you feel
picking.
better.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you. That was good stuff. That the interesting thing about the art of picking lesson that I did for Chops from Hell was that it wasn't something that I planned on doing. I had a student that would take lessons from me through the mail. This was back before the internet was really happening. You could do all that stuff that we can do now. I had a student that asked me to make an alternate picking lesson for him. So I sat down 2 days in a row and I just filmed myself making up stuff on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was done, I was like, "Wow, this is really cool stuff. I should put this into a Chops from Hell lesson." So after I had X number of licks. I don't remember how many are in the product, but that whole Chops from Hell lesson, the art of picking, was improvised. I just sat down and started playing, and that's what came out that day, or those 2 days, and turned it into a product. So it was really off the cuff, and it gets a good representation of where my head was at the time. And you can hear my daughter in the background. She was in like 3 or something like that. You could hear her. She was in the crib, or not the crib, but in like a playpen in front of the TV while I was trying to record this video for my student. And Chris from Chops from Hell was like, "Hey, do you want me to edit that out? So people don't hear your kid squawking, whatever." And I was like, "No, man, just leave it in." I said, "This is a good representation of what my life's really like, because a lot of people think that it's all glamour and gold and all that good stuff, but it's that's the reality. It's not always what it seems to be. We're all just regular people, man, just trying to make a living like everybody else, man." So I left it in. I think it's honest.
Somebody else said, looking forward to the Revolution show in July. Are you planning on having any more after that, or is this kind of a one and done thing?
Probably not. It's probably just a one-off. It's I'm so busy now. It's been a struggle to make rehearsals, and I'm not even sure how that show's going to turn out, man. So, but I'll keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best. I'll probably practice all the songs like the week before we play it and try to see what happens. I've been so busy that it's just like not happening. I'm supposed to be at a rehearsal tonight, and I can't make it. So
Right. Let's see what else we got.
let's see.
Someone wants to learn the Jasmine song.
Yeah, that's a great song. Interesting story about that one as well. Um, that one's named after my daughter, and I had been working on that song before it was titled Jasmine Song. And the day after she was born, I came home and I picked up my guitar and played, and all that stuff just came out. So Jasmine Song.
There you go, man.
There you go.
That's beautiful.
That was it, just based on that inspiration. I don't know where it came from. It just, I picked it up and everything just came out and worked, and it was like, all right, well, that's that. It worked so well. Sorry, one more thing. It worked
Yeah.
so well that I had intended on. We had, when my ex-wife was pregnant with Jasmine, when they go to do those ultrasounds, we had the video of that, but there was supposed to be audio recorded with it too, so you could hear her heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to take the audio from the VHS tape and put it on the beginning of the song, and it ended up that the audio didn't get recorded that day, so I wasn't able to use it. So
And
it
bastards.
was super cool, right? So
Dude, that actually would be pretty sick.
yeah, that would have been super sick.
So someone said trivia back in the day, Randy Rhoads was more into George than he was Eddie.
Hmm.
That's one of the reasons George took Randy's spot in High Mom's school.
In his mom's school. So
at his mom's school or high mom's school?
yeah, it's supposed to be his mom's school. I'm sure he's sure.
Oh,
Yeah, because Randy taught at his mom's music school, Musonia,
okay.
in Hollywood.
So that's my student Sam. He's the one with the George Lynch guitar I showed you.
Okay, sweet. Yep. I
That's
mean,
sweet.
I'm not sure about Randy being more into Eddie or George. I didn't hear that before, but um, I didn't even know that they all knew each other. I mean, I'm sure they did, probably all playing local in Hollywood and Pasadena and all that stuff like that, or wherever. Eddie was kind of already out of the scene. I mean, he got, Van Halen 1 was 78, and Randy Rhoads was with Ozzy in, is it 81? Because he passed in 82, the plane crash. So, I don't know. I remember a funny story that I heard was that Randy supposedly ran into Eddie Van Halen buying a copy of Blizzard of Oz in a record store.
Sweet.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, R.I.P. both of those guys, Eddie and Randy. But Eddie has been very opinionated on saying things about Randy Rhoads, like he taught Randy everything he knows, or Randy copied everything, or whatever. But I really don't hear that. But I think they're both great. I like them both, as well as George Lynch. Those are all great guitar players, man. It must have been so cool being part of that scene then with all those amazing guitar players.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. Pretty competitive, but for sure.
Anthony says, "Hey, Rusty and Zach, I love the podcast. It's pure cool. Love the rawness and what you guys are bringing here."
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate the support.
Can you read them? Are you reading these?
Yeah, I can see one. I'm not
Read
sure.
the Sebastian Salinas.
Hey, Rusty, I've been following your career since the first CD, The Chaps from Hell days. Glad to have this show. Wish list for next episodes: George Bellis, Joe Stump, Daryl Gable, and Michael Romeo. Well, Michael Romeo for sure. If we can get a hold of him, I know Daryl personally.
I did hear back from Michael's agent. We'll see what happens about that. We're just trying to maybe do something there.
And I know Joe.
That'd be cool.
We've spoke before. It'd be cool to have Joe on the show. And I've spoke with George a couple of times years ago, but nothing as of recently. But all great guitar players and be cool people to have on the show for sure. Good suggestions, brother. Thank you.
And David is talking about Tremonti in a few of these. I mean, we had Tremonti on the show. You and him are good buddies.
Yep.
And played together backstage multiple times. And
yeah, Mark's a super good dude. He's the kind of person that if you met him on the street and you just bumped into him and talked to him and you didn't know who he was, you would never know that he was like some mega, super rock star or whatever. You know what I mean? He's just like, he doesn't come off that way. He doesn't present himself that way. He's just a chill dude. Just wants to hang out and play guitar. And if you didn't even know I remember Mark was telling me a story about one time he was getting his hair cut at a barber shop. And the guy was like, "So what do you do for a living?" He's like, "Yeah, I play in a band, Creed." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool." I didn't even know who Creed was. Like,
hey, I mean, but it probably feels good to not have to be like bombarded by somebody all the time.
For sure.
So it probably felt good. He probably relaxed.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes life.
Yeah. So Mark's great, man. He hit me up and he was like, "Hey, man, here's my phone number. Give me a call." And I'm like, "What?" Like just out of nowhere. And you're like, "Okay, cool." Yeah. And so it's really fun, man, getting to chat with him. And what I like about him too, not just the humbleness, but he's always wanting to learn something new. Yeah. Always. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I was going to mention that. There's not a lot of guitar players out there that continue to put out records and continue to try to evolve their playing. And Mark is definitely one of those guys. He always wants to learn. He's always chomping at the bit to learn new things and try different things and just take his playing to the next level. And it's not always just about technique for him. He's very much into blues and other types of music as well, and it's very refreshing too. I remember one of the times I went and hung out with him. He's like, "Okay, next time we hang out, let's make it a goal for in between now and next time that we're going to work on the changes for Stormy Monday and play over that." I was like, "All right, cool." And,
yeah,
it was interesting, for sure.
And I've listened to some of his stuff, from a different standpoint, not just from a playing standpoint, but from a production standpoint. Dude, the albums are mixed and mastered like beautifully. Yeah. It's like, oh my God.
Elvis. I think Elvis does all of his stuff.
I need to talk to Elvis.
Yeah.
Because that shit is...
It's Michael Elvis Basquiat. That's where I did he runs Paint It Black Studios in Orlando. And that's where I went down and did the Falling Reverse stuff at the same studio. Him and Mark are good buddies. And
with Jackie.
Whatnot. Jackie Vincent, yeah.
Yeah. Man, because like I just listened to it and just hearing it in my car, I'm like, oh my god, this is brutal.
Yeah. Mark's all of the stuff Mark does, whether it's the solo stuff or Alter Bridge, it's amazingly done for sure.
So we got something good here. Hey, Rusty and Zach. I'm 16. I've been playing guitar for the last 8 years, and I've decided that guitar will be my profession. With your guys' love and passion for music, would this be a good choice?
Which one? Who was that?
The metal guitarist.
Okay, all right, let me read that again. Let's see. Tough, that was 8 years. I've decided to profession. Would this be a good choice? Well, here's my advice to any and all guitar players and musicians in general. Make sure that you love it more than anything else. Make sure it's your passion, because it's not an easy path. It can be challenging. It has its ups and downs, and if you don't absolutely love it 110%, maybe you want to have a backup plan, or maybe you want to go for that big college degree and play it safe, and then play guitar on the side for fun, and that way you always got the cushion to rely on. But for me, it was all or nothing. I have no backup plan. I play guitar, and that's it. For me, the thought of having a backup plan is like preparing yourself to fail. If I would have spent all that time that I wasted on my backup plan, maybe I wouldn't have failed, so to speak. You know what I mean? Why waste that time preparing to fail? That's the way I look at it. But it's not for everybody, so you have to know, without a doubt, that that's what you want to do. And if that's how you feel, brother, then all more power to you. Go out and do it, man. Take the world by its horns and grab it and ride.
My question would be, you say that this would be a good profession, or would this be a good choice? But like, what about it do you want to be professional at? You get what I'm saying? Like, do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to be somebody who gigs? Do you want to like what do you want? I suppose, right? Because just playing guitar isn't going to make you money.
Right.
You know what I mean? 8 hours a day playing guitar, no one's just going to give you money to do that.
Right.
What do you want to do?
Yeah. You want to have as clear and concise plan of action as possible. You know what I mean? Know what it's not. When I was a kid, personally, I just thought, when I was like 20, I thought all you had to do was be good, and fame would find you, or whatever. It doesn't work that way, man. It takes a lot more than being good. And sometimes you don't even have to be good. You just got to be at the right place at the right time.
Right.
It's like, you ever wondered why certain bands you hear on the radio or have hits and super talented people sometimes don't? It's like, there's more to it than being talented in the music business. Do you have the right look?
Yeah. And that does have something.
What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice everything you believe in just to make it? And define making it is different, I think, to everybody. How do you define making it? For some people, it's fame. For some people, it's money. Some people, it's money and fame, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And some people, it's all of it. They want the whole lot. That's a rock and roller, right there.
But it depends, man. I mean, you're 16, so you're young. I would say, especially right now, you need to start working on your playing, though. Yeah. Really make sure that you don't show up to a gig and you can't play, because that's not going to get you very far.
Right.
Really focus. Take some lessons, locally or on Skype or Zoom or something. Just get your chops up, so that way when you do show up, you're kind of a threat. In a good way, like a threat, somebody that people are like, that's the guy. And then because you still got a couple of years where you could go work at Walmart, or go do something to make a little money while you're building something.
Yeah. My advice to you at your age is to spend every free moment that you have playing guitar and forget about everything else. Obviously, you're probably living at home with your parents still, so whatever you got to do to keep your parents happy, whether it's doing chores, keeping your grades up, super important.
That's your job.
That's right. But aside from that, then play guitar and do nothing else. You might miss and lose some friends, but in 10, 20 years from now, you look back and those people probably weren't going to be your friends anyway, because everybody grows up and goes different routes. It's not going to be any loss, and it will probably keep you out of a lot of trouble by not going out and hanging out with people all the time. Stay home and keep your head in the books and practicing, and that's going to be the time that you have now that's really going to set your playing up for what it's going to become. That's for sure.
Yep, I agree. Well, that's a good way to end the Q&A, I think.
Sure.
Let's do some shredding, and then we'll call this.
Sweet. Okay. I think that's cool.
Oops.
Right. So. warm up some, man. My fingers are cold.
I know. I was kind of warming up before. Oh, I was going to talk to you about a new warm up thing that I have, but it's not it doesn't have anything to do with guitar. It's just warming up in general. I got one of these.
Okay.
It's like a physical therapy ball.
Okay.
And it's rock hard, dude. I mean, it's rubbery, but it's not like a rock, but it's not a tennis ball. It's like really solid. And one thing that my physical therapist has me doing is I take this ball and I lay it on the ground and I put it on one side, like behind my shoulder blade, and I lay on it, and then it like cuts that muscle a little bit.
Okay.
Because you're sitting like this a lot. And you roll your arm back and forth with the ball and all of the weight of your body on top of the ball. Or I guess I could just use the ball like that. And then you move your arm around and the joint and everything. And then you move the ball up your shoulder and behind. This thing has worked a freaking wonder, dude.
That's awesome.
My range of motion was kind of like this, right? So even because I do bench press a lot and you just build up that muscle in the front. Now my range of motion can go way farther back.
Just
like it's still not where I want it to be, but I can like really get here. And then I take this ball. I did this before we started. I was over here and I put it against the wall and I'll slam my arm against the wall and use this and dig really deep into my forearms on the top of my forearms. It's almost
kind of like what they call from like a chiropractor's point of view, like they call it scraping or something like that. Scrubbing, maybe. Yeah,
you're pushing blood into the area to help heal.
Yeah.
But then
pushing out toxins too.
Yeah. And then I take it. So this is 20 minutes of laying on both sides, 10 minutes, 10 minutes.
Right.
I push it up against the wall. I put a bunch of pressure on there and I rub it into my biceps really hard. Then I take my hands and I push like this and I'm pushing blood into, because I asked him about that finger issue that you were having. And he's like, it sounds to me like he doesn't have blood flow to the finger and it's dying.
Well, that's basically exactly what one of the doctors saw that I saw. He said that the circulation of blood was actually. They said the circulation of blood wasn't flowing to and from my hand properly, which was causing
from your
atrophy or whatever to the left side of my ring finger, the muscle on that side of my finger, only on that side, not on this side, just this side, and which is kind of weird. But I mean, I guess these two fingers are different, connected differently than these two fingers are as well.
And that's where this dude, it literally will break up all of that toxicity and all of the stuff in your arms. And it's worked a freaking wonder. And then I do it. I dig into my palm and I rub it against, I'll push it against the wall. Dude, I'm telling you, it literally has changed my life.
So check this out. I have something almost just like that. I was going to run and get it, but I'm not sure I know where it's at. But it's a metal ball that comes with a casing, and then you can roll it on your muscles or your arms or whatever, and you can put it in the freezer and get it cold or whatever, and you can
really
use it to massage your muscles in your back or whatever, your arms. But and that gets, it's the same thing because it's like that, but you're able to hold this thing so you can roll it, you know what I mean, on your arm.
If you find it, send me a photo because I'll buy one.
You just hold the fort for 2 seconds.
I'm gonna hold the fort. I'm gonna play a little bit for everybody. Hey, right on time.
Yeah, nice timing. I don't know how this thing goes, man. This has always been a fun thing to figure out. Anyway, hopefully, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay, so here it is. As you can see, it's kind of frosted. It's been in my freezer. So it's just like, it rolls. You can hold it.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. And, dude, I think I got this at, Academy Sports and Outdoors. You know what I mean? They have all the sports section where all the weight.
Well, like a Shields or something?
What's that?
Like Shields or like a sporting goods store?
Probably. I mean, anything, any kind of sporting good. I mean, I think you probably got it at Walmart or something like that even. But if you just hold it, you know, and you can, and this is out of the freezer, so it's cold, so you can rub it on all your muscles and get that, really force that out of there or anywhere, you know. This way you don't, with just the ball, it's probably harder to manipulate because you might drop it or something like that. With this, you can just hold it and rub it on whatever. And
Well, and you can use either, like, so that probably wouldn't work very well when you're laying on it.
well, maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, you know, if you're laying on it, you can just move.
Oh.
You can move your shoulder yourself.
You can see on my arms, like it pulls hairs out of my arms, so I get these like little like
this
sores.
thing's really smooth. This won't do that to your arm. This is real smooth. So
I look like a leper with all these things because it rips all the hairs out of my arms.
yeah, just don't use it on your head.
Fine.
Yeah, knucklehead. Anyway, it's pretty cool. It's thawing out now, so it's getting all wet. But
Dude, we almost went the entire live stream without a dad joke, and now we got one.
there you go. Yuck, yuck,
Damn
yuck.
it.
Damn it.
So I just got done playing.
How'd it go?
I think it was not great, but it was fine. But that's with my new the new head rush pedal board I got.
Cool.
I think it sounds pretty good. Shout out to Al Joseph for sending me some tones in his pack, his tone pack.
Big Al, man.
But I'm sure everybody would rather listen to you play.
Well, I don't know about all that, but
Yeah, dude.
So some things to practice. Some cool things I've been kind of working on here and there when I actually get to play guitar and I'm not teaching guitar, right? Because that's a whole different thing. Been working on just developing some different kind of sweep things, as well as just getting my hands to work properly again after dealing with some of the injury stuff that I've had to deal with. You know, just some 4-string sweeps straight up. It just fits. It's 2 power chords. It's an E5 and an E5, or D5 and D5. So, and that works off of every diatonic step in a major key or any mode from the major key, except for on the chord, on your 7 chord, right? Because that would be flatted fifths. So that's kind of some cool things to do. And
What do you mean by that? Just for people, kind of dive in just a little bit deeper into that for a second.
every mode from the major scale system, it has a perfect fifth in it, except for the Locrian mode, which has a flatted fifth in it. So since these are stacked fifths, if you come up to the 7 chord, the chord built out the 7th degree of a major scale, you would have to play stacked flatted fifths, which would be instead of stacked perfect fifths, right?
So do a full diatonic thing.
Oh,
you have to start on Ionian.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to attempt to play that fast now because I'm not.
That's pretty
enough,
sick, actually.
But you can do cool things with it like this. You could build an idea where you go up one and come down the next. Like, no. So, you know, that's kind of cool. You can even break it down into a 3-string thing where you go. You know, something like that is kind of cool.
You know,
or like. That's kind of cool, you know.
Per Nilsson has something where he kind of takes that.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned this a long time ago, but you're taking this shape right there.
Mm-hmm.
And here, there we go. And but he'll do it where it's not sweep, so it's a little different. But he'll do like.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
that's
cool.
super cool. I love that tone. It's so out of the box.
You can do some cool stuff, kind of melodically like that too. Like.
Yeah.
What was it? Anyway, that kind of stuff's cool. Or you can go like the darker route, like. Just minor beat. It's kind of rad.
Quick shout out to Jermaine Jonathan. He's in the chat here. He's a freaking killer player. If you guys haven't checked him out, very clean, fast, everything. So nice. It's cool that he's here. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty neat. I like those kind of interval-like things. There's another thing that I'm kind of working on it's been one of the hardest things, honestly, that I've ever kind of done. It's because your right hand is playing 2 notes for every single note your left hand is playing, so it doesn't really line up very well. It's like let me turn off the delay so I can hear it better. Let's see.
Oh, Derek says that he did not know that you were the one that did the solo for After the Burial for Encased in Ice.
Oh yeah. That's
After the Burial is one of his favorites, and
that's
he had listened. He listened to that song a million times, and then we finally. I was like, "Yeah, I think Rusty did a guest solo for them," and he was like, "What song?" And I told him, and he was like, "Holy fuck!" Like his whole life changed.
Yeah, that was me on Encased in Ice. Matter of fact, that's one of the bands that I had 2 solos for. And I think we have it loaded up on Patreon. If not, that's one of the things we're going to be loading up, the solo that wasn't released. I
cool.
had the same thing for when I played with All Shall Perish on that song, Forever, I can't remember the name of the title, From So Far Away. It was on All Shall Perish's album, Awaken the Dreamers, which my buddy Chris Story plays guitar for. Chris is an amazing player. I did 2 solos for them, and I still have the other solo that wasn't used for the album. That was pretty cool as well. But there's been a lot of good guest work out there, man. The stuff I did with George Colias is awesome. Or George Colias, did I say it right?
Colias, yep.
Colias. So that was really cool. And what's this other band? What are they called? I'm really proud of that solo that I did with these guys. What are they called? Illustrium. There's a band called Illustrium that I did a guest solo on. That was really, really cool. And I just drove in and did 1 take and said, "All right, let me try another thing," and it nailed it in 2 takes, and it was golden. So that's the Illustrium guest solo, George Colias. Those are 2 of my favorites. And of course, the stuff I did with Austrian Death Machine is pretty rad too. I enjoyed that stuff a lot. And the song that I'm doing with you is going to be super sick too.
Yeah, I don't have a name for anything. I'm thinking about just naming them songs 1, 2, and 3 because I suck at writing names for songs. If somebody has some suggestions for song names, hit me up because I suck at it. I put whoever's a guest soloist on there, so that's the Cooley song.
There you go.
Another one is AJ for Al Joseph's song because I suck at naming.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but that song that you or let me do a solo on is going to be really cool, man. I like the tune a lot.
Thanks, dude. Have you ever heard of well, no, it doesn't matter. But basically when I write, I'm trying to think about, obviously we want to have some cool shit for guitar players to play, some shreddy stuff, that kind of stuff. But also that has to still make sense to me and have like a nice sound that you can maybe hum to a little bit,
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That's just me. And not that anybody has to do that, but that's a new song that I'm working on. It's like a micro tune kind of.
Micro
That one, I've got some killer riffs in that I that only this guitar, this new, the Ormsby one, kind of brought out of me, because I know normally I don't play like that, but a couple of those riffs, let's see, I have to think of it. Oh, this is really cool. I don't even think I've showed you this yet.
Okay.
I'm going to be coming out because they asked me to do one for the guitar, Ormsby. So it's just something I'm doing for me to throw. It's 2 minutes long, but the riff. So on this, it's got a 60 gauge. These are the rusty. I told them to put rusty strings on.
Okay, cool.
So it's 60s to 90 to nines. But now like with the bridge, if you bend a string,
yeah,
it'll lower the tone of each string that's not being held down.
Right.
Because the bridge gets pulled up. And man, you know this, maybe some people don't.
Yeah.
So when you do that, so I was fucking around one day and I was just practicing actually just rhythms. I was just going, right? Then I started pulling on the string and it sounds like this.
That's pretty cool, dude.
And that's the riff, right?
I knew where it was gonna go, man.
It's super sick.
I could see. I knew when you said that. I was like, I know where it's actually going.
And then, so most people listen to that riff. It's not complicated, but it's like, wait, how did he get that slinky tone? Well, that's how. And I'll make a video, a playthrough of it, so people can see. Then it goes into this other riff, this like. Stuff like that.
Nice. Almost
very
like a Temple of the Absurd lick vibe,
Yeah. So it's just very, and then, of course I added the harmony, or not harmony guitar, but the octave of.
Right.
Get that. And then the solo riff is really cool. It's, kind of open it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, and that's it. Those are the 3 riffs of the song. Boom, I do a solo, and then then the song's done.
That's cool, man. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, I got to get it mixed a little better, and Getty's working on drums. But
so you got it done?
I have all my shit done. Getty's going to send me some different versions of some drums.
Nice, man. Very cool, dude. What else we got going on today?
That's pretty much it, unless there's something you want to talk about. We'll do another live stream. It'd be kind of cool to maybe do a live stream, maybe once every couple months or so, just to update people, and if they like it anyway.
Sure.
We've got a lot of people watching right now, so thanks to everybody for being here.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate y'all.
It's something that I've said since the beginning of this whole thing is, you spent a lot of time teaching, and people kind of wondered where you were, like he hasn't posted as much as I'd like, and that kind of stuff. And this is really cool that I think people are excited to hear from you again. And
it's been
nice.
Interesting 10 years, I should say. There's been lots of things that have happened in my life, including a hand injury that was non-music related, but it definitely affected my guitar playing. And because of the injury, it's like, well, if I can't play at the level I played at before, what am I going to put out? So I wasn't putting out stuff, just simply because I didn't feel like I had anything worth showing. That's basically where my head was at during those times.
Sure.
So, and I'm still working on getting my hand recovered back to what it's supposed to be like and what it was and all that stuff. But a lot of good things are happening right now in my life, and I'm planning on keeping it that way.
Hell yeah.
So keep expecting lots of new stuff, and keep your eyes out for it, because it's going to come.
So one thing, go order a shirt if you haven't, or a poster or something. We feature anybody who buys them and sends us a photo. So we've got a lot of orders. Actually, I'm pretty happy with that. And it does, just so you guys know too, like nobody is paying for this show. It's all 100% funded by us, and whatever you guys do to help is amazing, and we want to help keep the show going and help keep it, being able to take the time off from lessons or take the time off from the work that we do to be able to do the episodes and edit and do all this stuff. So anything you guys do, we really appreciate it. And
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, share this stuff around, get some views, and get more people interested, and
Very cool.
share photos. It'd be really great.
Yeah, somebody asked out there if I liked my Rings of Saturn guest solo, and yes, yeah, it was very cool. It was interesting to do that one. It was cool. And what is that? RC Cola.
That's Derek. He's
There,
talking to you
yes.
about.
I have. Where's my RC Cola can at? I got one of those around here somewhere. Yeah, I have my
Yeah,
own
I.
soda company, by the way. It's called RC Cola. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's funny.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's awesome.
I think that is a successful live stream, and we will. If you guys have more questions, we can't get to all of them here, but if you got more questions, feel free to hit us up, or we'll just wait till the next live stream, and we can kind of we'll have it more figured out too by then.
Yeah, man, for sure. Just stay tuned, man. We're just getting warmed up.
Hell yeah.
We got lots to offer and lots of cool things to come. Uh, I'm looking forward to the stuff that we're gonna put out together, and just doing music full time, man. Just rocking and rolling.
It's
Playing
exciting.
guitar. Let's do it. RC
Cool.
Cola.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode on Tuesday.
Yep.
And if you're watching this way after that, then I don't know what to tell you, but just go back and watch all of them and
Yep.
share.
Send us those pictures of you guys wearing the Guitar Autopsy shirts, and we'll get those posted as well, man. It's super cool to see that all you guys
Hell yeah.
appreciate